Hello, it's another edition of the Counter Press with me, Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. As the channel name is Fiifi-Manfred YouTube, Fiifi-Manfred YouTube. Thank you very much. It's the Counter Press. It's the weekend edition. We're previewing a big game. Chelsea tomorrow are playing at the London Olympic Stadium against Westham United. What are the possible lineups? How are tactically both teams going to set up? What are the possible variations? How is Mauricio Pochettino going to start with Enzo Fernandez, Moses Caicedo, Romeo Lavia? Who is going to play as per his press conference? Tactically, how is it going to pan out? Vis-a-vis West Ham's first game, playing out a draw against Bournemouth, away at the Vitality. Naif Aguerd is back into the side. Zuma is back into the team. They have two wonderful fullbacks in Emerson, formerly of Chelsea Football Club. Zuma, of course, formerly of Chelsea Football Club. In the middle of the park, they've gotten Edson Alvarez. The issue of Lucas Paqueta is still pending. I don't know if he's going to play tomorrow, but I will take him off the tactical board and say, okay, fine. Maybe he isn't going to play tomorrow, but then apart from him, Lucas Paqueta, there is Thomas Suchek in middle. James Ward-Prowse is part of the team. Up top, there's Lanzini, there is Bowen, and then, of course, there is Mikel Antonio. Welcome to the Counter Press. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. This is the Counter Press. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. Do well to like, subscribe, and share. It's important. Like, subscribe, and share. It's important to the channel. But of course, thank you very much. Turn the notification button just so when the video drops, you are part of the first few people to get to know. Again, also, do well to share. And I want to hear from the comment section. My name again is Fiifi-Manfred. The channel name is Fiifi-Manfred. Just before we go on, a few games have gone on, some brilliant games, and I think I need to share my comments on them. First of all, is Roberto De Zerbi's Brighton and Hove Albion have gone away to Wolverhampton Wanderers, and they've walloped them at the Molineux. You see, De Zerbi is a smart manager, one of the best managers I can get. I remember last season on Twitter, I kept on pushing that Chelsea should look at him. But you know, Chelsea had gone to Brighton and they didn't get good business for Mark Cucurella. And Graham Potter was literally shitting his pants at Chelsea when he was there as manager. So it was difficult for almost every Chelsea fan to think straight in that regard. But then Roberto De Zerbi keeps on showing with these young players, Julio Enciso, Kuro Mitoma, in the middle of the pack. He has some brilliant players in there, using Pascal Gross and Solly March to play some beautiful football, even after losing Alexis McAllister and then, of course, Moises Caicedo. They're playing some good football. Apart from that, also, I'm recording this video while the Manchester United and Spurs game is going on. I think they're in the last few embers of the game. Brilliant football from Ange Postecoglou. This season, it is going to be difficult to make top four than ever before. Very, very difficult. Liverpool had a red card in that game against Bournemouth. They went out to win by 3-1. Wonderful goals by Darwin Luis Diaz. I've said it. One of the best central attacking, one of the best wingers that you can get. So good, so direct. The ball is always sticking to him, finds a way to find the back of the net, and he led that onslaught for Liverpool. Mohamed Salah, of course, got a penalty in there. And then, of course, Diogo Jota was also brilliant in that game. Away from that, Papi Matasai, a player I've been talking about. If you follow me at Fifi_Manfred on Twitter, you know I've been speaking about Papi Matasai several times. When my senior colleague Nuh Adams told me about him, I went to watch him and he's a brilliant player. He bossed that midfield with Yves Bissouma. Ange Postecoglou's variations and automatisms have undone Manchester United and Eric Ten Hag in this game. Now, later in the day, there's going to be Manchester City playing against Newcastle United. It's a tough game. It's a game that I do think that Manchester City are maybe going to navigate a slight win, but it's a very difficult game to predict. The question, however, is Eddie Howe going to be able to replicate that intensity that his teams are able to play away at Tyneside? It's a question that everybody is going to ask, but it sets the game. It sets the mood for the game, and I think almost everybody will be preparing to watch that game as it stands now. Now, to the all-important game that we have to play tomorrow for Chelsea Football Club. So, for purposes of context sake, Mauricio Pochettino played his first game last week, drew 1-1 against Liverpool. Now he has to go to a London derby. I mean, a game that statistically has been very difficult for Chelsea to play in. In fact, last season was difficult for Chelsea to get point of of West Ham United. And David Moyes did say in his pre-match press conference that buying players alone doesn't solve the problem. And he alluded to last season when Graham Potter found it tough. Yes, Chelsea went away to the London Olympic Stadium, but it came with just a draw. A game where Chelsea bossed the midfield, but really didn't have that cutting edge to get a job done. It was a big deal. Now, it's a different Chelsea. Chelsea were one of the best teams in preseason. That first game against Liverpool, especially after the first 30 minutes, showed you how good Chelsea can be or will be. Now, since then, a lot of things have happened. Moise Caicedo is now a Chelsea player. It looks like he's going to start. Romeo Lavia is now a Chelsea player. He's probably going to have a part to play in this game. And that's the part where we analyze the game. But first of all, let's look at West Ham United and how they've been lining up, especially against Bournemouth. So, David Moyes usually likes to play in a 4-5-1 flat. It's the reason why a lot of the centre forwards that love to attack channels and then make last-minute runs don't thrive under him. He likes the big, bulky centre back that could hold up play and get other players to run off him, like Gerard Bowen and Lanzini. And it's exactly why Mikel Antonio has been very successful. He's always going to isolate either a centre back or a fullback outward and try to use his upper body strength and then wriggle off him, then run in behind. It's a game where, because Reece James is injured, it's going to be a little bit worrying. Because usually, if he targets the right area, Reece James is able to usually close him down because he's also very strong upper body wise and has the pace. Now, Malo Gusto, the physicality of the game, I don't think he's up there like that. So that mini battle between himself and Mikel Antonio, when he drifts to the right hand side, is going to be one of the key moments, one of the key subplots to watch in this game. Also, that battle that he's going to have with, say, Thiago Silva at the back is going to be very important. A very, very important game that I'm going to watch. So, the West Ham possible lineup is going to be, of course, centre back. We're going to have Naif Aguerd, Zuma, Emerson at fullback. In fact, the middle of the pack, the three midfielders they are expecting to get, especially since Lucas Paqueta has some issues around in his neck when it comes to betting. So we're expecting to see Thomas Soucek in the middle of the pack. Alongside him, definitely, I'm expecting I'm going to see Edson Alvarez start this game. Very important, given that Paqueta is out of this game. And then, of course, there's going to be James Ward-Prowse ahead of them. Then, on the left and right hand side is Lanzini and Bowen. And through the middle, Mikel Antonio. They also do have Danny Ings on the bench. And then, of course, the young Ivorian also on the bench. So, this is how I think the Hammers are going to line up. But how are Chelsea possibly going to line up? In that game against Liverpool, it was a 3 at the back. Pochettino says, hey, it wasn't just a 3 at the back. It was a hybrid 3 at the back and 4 at the back. And that was brilliant. That was true. There were points where Chelsea switched into a back 4 with my man Levi Cole playing as a fullback. Then Reece James pushing up a little. Ben Chilwell actually pushing up a little bit because he likes to go high and wide. I think that with the physicality of this West Ham game, he's going to go in a variation of this information. I think Azor the Sash is going to be in there. Thiago Silva, Levi Cole. He's going to get Malo Gusto and then Benjamin Chilwell. Now, when Chelsea are progressing the ball, we're expecting to have it with a tilt dimension, where to the right hand side, Chelsea are going to have Thiago Silva, Axel Disasi, then say Moises Caicedo dropping into the hole to receive the ball. Then right ahead of him, you're either going to get Conor Gallagher or Enzo Fernandez right ahead of him in terms of ball progression. On the right hand side, also Axel Disasi is going to help with Malo Gusto in that area. Chelsea will want to progress through that area a lot of the time. And of course, the fact is that also that's the weak side of West Ham United's defense. So if you take the ball through there, targeting Emerson, it's a place where you think that you can get a lot of successes in that regard. Again, one of the parts of the games that's going to be very important is that when Chelsea are using the tilt dimension, where they overload the right hand side, they are hoping that Benjamin Chilwell is going to go high and wide. They are hoping that Levi Cole is going to be an outlet when they are pressed very high from Robert Sanchez. He is going to send those diagonal balls to him to receive and then find Benjamin Chilwell high and wide, whilst we have an inverted center forward in there. So in the game against Liverpool, it was Jackson and then of course Raheem Sterling. But right in front of them, it was Kani Chukwuemeka, who was either marauding to the left or to the right to be that sort of link up in those half spaces for the team. We are expecting that as well when Chelsea want to progress, and the tilt dimension is to the overload is to the right, and then there's space on the right on the left. The switch to Ben Chilwell or Levi Cole, who passes the ball then to Benjamin Chilwell. Then my man Kani Chukwuemeka will have to drop into those half spaces to combine with the team, and then also wait for the tilt dimension to move to the left hand side. Very important piece of play. One of the things I saw in the game against Liverpool was that Conor Gallagher was targeted. It was easy for Liverpool to press him. Alexis McAllister and then Domenico Szoboszlai made it difficult for him to progress the ball. Now, Chelsea, in buying Moses Caicedo, are expecting to have an elite ball progressor in Moses Caicedo. The numbers are there for himself. He's press resistant. He's scans almost every second. He's aware of what is around him. He's able to pick the ball, turn on the half space, on the half turn, and then progress the ball. So Chelsea should not really have problems in build-up if really Moise Caicedo understood how Mauricio Pochettino wants to play in build-up. We're expecting that Chelsea should not have that problem they had in build-up. So they're going to have options in terms of build-up going centrally to Caicedo. If Lavia is on, it makes it even perfect because he's going to be able to receive the ball in those areas. Now, there's a possible dominant battle going to go in the middle of the park. And I love the fact that Moises Caicedo is in. He's always going to go 1v1 with Thomas Soucek in the middle of the park, and of course Edson Alvarez. If you have Lavia in the game, then it makes it even better. When Chelsea are going to win these aggressive battles, then that frees Enzo Fernandez in those half spaces with Kani Chukwuemeka in there. Right ahead of them is going to be Jackson, whilst Sterling will combine from the right. Now, it means that Chelsea are going to get enough players centrally, whilst they also have enough players on the right-hand side overload when they seek to build up from that side. Very important tactical play. It's the same way Chelsea got that goal against Liverpool. Set piece, but because there are a lot of people from the overload, it in turn had more people in the box to get a job done. Now, one of the reasons why I still think that Azu Disasi can play in this game is the fact that Westham are going to target a lot of set pieces. The first flick, the second flick is going to be done whilst they target the last ball with Zuma, with Soucek, with Naef Aguerd. Very, very important with Mikel Antonio. Now, Chelsea's average height is a little bit short. With James, if he's playing, Malo Gusto, Benjamin Chilwell, Moses Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Romeo Lavia, Gallagher, Kani Chukwuemeka. This is a short team, relatively. So it's important for Chelsea to have Axel Disasi there, Chelsea to have Levi Kowal in there, and it's of course important to have Thiago Silva in there. Now that helps in both ends of the pitch. If Chelsea are defending a corner and they're trying to attack a corner, so very, very important. And that's why I think Chelsea will go with this particular lineup. Very, very important piece of information in that regard. Now, the midfield battle, I think Chelsea will easily control this because of Paqueta's absence. Now, the ball carrying ability of Caicedo is going to be very important. The off-the-ball ability of Soucek and then Alvarez is good. But it's the fact that Chelsea are going to have a lot of the ball, so Caicedo is going to be able to dictate the pace of the game, and he's going to probably run routes. Very, very important piece of play in there for Chelsea Football Club. I mean, tactically, that's how the game is going to go. Set pieces, the subplots, 1v1 battles between Mikel Antonio and any of Chelsea's back four. Very, very important. I'm waiting to see how Malo Gusto is going to fare if he gets to isolate him 1v1. And if for Benjamin Chilwell, Axel Disasi was also caught a couple of times flat-footed against Diaz in the Liverpool game. Antonio might have watched that. He would want to target him. All those Disasi is big. He would want to take the game to him, take that aggressive battle to him. I wait to see how that unfolds. The game will probably hinge on that because if you lose these battles, then Antonio will hurt you. Now the Chelsea's build-up looks like it's going to get set. It's going to be settled in this game. Very important game where Chelsea can have build-up settled. A game where I really believe that Chelsea can have build-up settled and they'll get it nailed. Especially they are playing both Lavia and Caicedo as the double pivot. Then right on top of them, it's going to be important to have Enzo Fernandez, Kani Chukwuemeka combining in those areas. Important one for Chelsea Football Club. So yeah, tactically, I think Chelsea have the edge. They have the right profiles to play against West Ham. If they want to break them down, they have Noni Madueke probably is going to be part of this game from the bench. Mihailo Modric part of it from the bench to stretch West Ham United if they want to stretch them. And then, of course, they have the inside forwards to also attack those half spaces on the left and the right anytime they want to get a job done. So it's something that really can be done. Chelsea can get this in, albeit they need to be careful in terms of they being secured on the ball. They need to be very careful in terms of turnovers against West Ham. And, of course, set piece is very, very important for Chelsea Football Club. I think that this game is going to end a 2-1 in favor of Chelsea. It's a game where I think Chelsea are going to win, but West Ham is going to get some goal. I don't know what your prediction are, but let me know what your thoughts are of the game. Do what to like, subscribe, and share. My name again is Fiifi-Manfred. I'm grateful for your time. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. This was a Chelsea West Ham preview tomorrow at the London Olympic Stadium tactically. See you. Bye-bye.